Welcome to Screencast, kind of funny's only entertainment-based show where we come together and we talk about movies, TV shows, and streaming services. We are live, usually on Fridays, but for the next couple of weeks, it'll be Thursday around 11:30-ish.
Why is it on Thursday instead of Fridays, Kev?
Oh, we're doing Star Wars and Mandalorian review, and that's screwing up the schedule.
It's not screwing up the schedule.
No, I know. It's moving it around.
Optimizing.
Yeah.
Efficiency.
Internet Explorer's coming back 2 weeks from now. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
It's exciting stuff.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the plan. We're taking a little break
so.
on
Yeah,
We Have
yeah.
Cool Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's exciting stuff. You can catch us live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. If you don't have time to watch us live, or you can always catch us as a video on demand on YouTube or Rooster Teeth. If you don't want to look at our faces and just hear our sweet voices, you can go to your favorite podcast streaming services. Find us there.
I thought you were about to say that like a question. You go to your favorite podcast?
I put the emphasis.
No, you got there, though. You got there.
Yeah. If you want to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny. Go and support at any tier. If you support at the bronze tier, you can answer some of our questions like many best friends always do.
What you sipping on, Belinda?
It is a cold brew. Sweet cream cold brew. Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It is fun.
I am your host, Kevin Coelho, and to my immediate right, we have Tim, the Bomber Jacket King.
That's me. Why am I
Gettys.
here? Whoa.
What?
The fan was...
yeah.
You had an aerial moment right there.
like-
And I really
I thought you
appreciated
meant
it.
I thought you were getting really existential on me of
No.
like, why am I here?
No, why am I here?
Today, towards the end of the show, we will be diving deep into Frozen 2, which we all
I
have
thought
seen.
you were being like existential.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like
Yeah.
usually Joey always sits here.
Yeah, but then
Oh, 'cause we have Belinda.
I want to show the
Seating was-
shirts.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. You guys have your Frozen shirts. I appreciate
And
it.
today we have a special guest host, Belinda, the Disney movie extraordinaire.
That's
You
me.
could,
that up.
you
That's
could
not
just
what I
call her the
planned.
Disney princess.
I like princess.
Okay, the Disney princess, Garcia. To her right, we've got one of the movie bros herself, Joey Noel.
Hola.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I
it
did
only
that for
took you
you.
3 months, but you got there. Kevin kept referring to her as the movie bros. Not one of the movie bros, just Joey, the movie
Joey
bros.
is the movie bro.
Yes.
All
I
right,
guess in all forms.
quickly, we're going to go and do some housekeeping. The boys are going to London.
Yeah, we are, man.
Right around the
Me,
corner.
Nick, and Greg are going to be all up in London drinking tea. Gia's trying to actually get us to drink tea.
Oh, you like high
I'm pretty
tea?
excited about that.
For tea drinking.
I like
You
tea.
get to eat all those weird little
I especially
sandwiches?
like English tea.
I don't
Really?
mean,
Yeah.
I've
I'm
never
not kidding.
seen
I
I've
know
never
this
seen
sounds
you
like a
as a
Tim.
tea
you mean
person.
English breakfast tea, right?
Yes.
That's a good tea.
It's real good.
You put milk in that bad boy?
You have to. That's what
Yeah.
makes it what it is, right?
More of
Is
an
it? I don't
Earl
know.
Grey,
I'm not
Earl
put-
Grey
You
tea.
put some of
Tea
that
specialist.
little sugar
Little
flakes in there.
How
Yeah.
do you feel about lemon curd, Tim?
What the fuck are you talking about?
See,
I don't know what
haven't
that
done
is. Yeah.
You're gonna come back and you're gonna be a pro.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I believe the meet and greet is all sold out. So you've lost your chance if you don't have tickets for that already. But you can look into MC Fixer and
Mark Freeman.
Mark Freeman. They're both
Throwing events left and right all
Yep.
weekend long. Many opportunities to hang out with the best friends in the Great White London. It's not the Great White North. It's
I think it's Foggy
You,
London.
you tried, Tim.
Yeah.
You tried.
Jolly old London.
Also, you can go to
jolly
kindoffunny.com
old England.
There we go.
/store and buy some of our new merch. We got a sweater that would be perfect for cold London.
We also have beanies. Would be
Yeah.
also great
Oh,
for London.
Joey, you're making some great points. But yeah, go check that stuff out. I also want to thank Patreon producer Al Tribesman, the lone tribesman.
Predator.
There it is. You got it.
Bringing 6 bomber jackets to London.
Yeah?
You are?
In that small, in like
I
a
have
bag? You
8
packed
days.
it very well.
6 bomber jackets.
That's why they call you the Bomber Jacket
They
King.
do.
It's impressive that you're just doing a carry-on,
I mean,
You
I have
got
a
a backpack,
carry-on and a
too.
backpack.
but still.
There's
There's
nothing
no
in my
way.
backpack, though. Just a lot of tech.
I went to New York
So
and I
many
brought
types.
coats and I needed like a whole check-in bag for just
Yeah.
coats.
Yeah. Gia was like, oh, we're going to share one thing.
No.
Because we're also going to Prague and they have those little like pond hopper planes and stuff. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
that ain't happening. And then she was just like, we're going to make it work. I'm like, all right. And then this morning I'm woken up to her pushing a thing down that's just her stuff in it, trying to zip it. And I swear to God, she was zipping for like 10 minutes. And like, I was just like laying there. I hadn't said a single thing to her the morning. I was just like, how many zippers does that thing have? She did not like that.
And this show is brought to you by our sponsors this week, Hims, Upstart, and Untuckit. But more about that later. First, I want to discuss what we've watched this week, minus Frozen 2. Tim?
Disney Plus, baby, the whole lot of it. I watched more of the things that we talked about last week, and I caught up on some things that I didn't have time for, like High School Musical, the series. Who's in love with it? This guy's in love with it.
Yeah, you
I've
are.
only seen one episode. I downloaded the second one for my London flight. It is just such a perfect combination of
Right?
Disney Channel original movie with office flair of this
Yes.
is definitely, I don't know who the audience is for it because I don't know if it's kids or adults or whatever,
Right.
but it is us.
Yes.
And so I'm like,
It's absolutely
there
us.
is an
So
audience
somewhere
out
in the
there.
middle there, huh?
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody that I've heard talk about it gets it in a way
Right, yeah.
that surprises me because it's off-putting when excuse me, I just hit all of you. It's off-putting when you think about it of what
Right.
exactly it is. Gia doesn't like it too much. She's the only person, the lone person.
You say the title and it throws people off. Like people are already that sounds dumb. But I'm like, just watch it. Like give it a shot.
Yeah.
And then tell me.
Because
how
it
you feel about
definitely fit. The title fits what the show
Exactly.
actually
100%.
is.
Exactly.
I think I think the audience is people that grew up watching High School Musical and are now adults. Are we adults?
Did
Do we
you
count as
did you
adults?
watch High School Musical? Were you a big?
I wasn't a big High School Musical person,
Yeah.
but I did at some point got wrapped into it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think they're mixing new original stuff with bringing back calling back to the old movies really well.
Yeah.
Because you get really excited when you hear or see
Yeah,
scenes. You're like,
little
whoa,
piano bits of songs.
like
and stuff
they're
like that.
fans of the movies, like we're fans of the movies.
That's
Totally.
great. You gotta love it, man.
Also, all the actors are legit teenagers. It's
which
kind
is
of nuts.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
You really get a vibe between them where it's there's chemistry, and I'm just I get it, man. I can smell the pheromones.
Yeah.
You know. I also watched Patriot Act because it is back. There's been multiple episodes, and every time that show goes on hiatus for a bit and then comes back for its season breaks, it comes back so strong with it. It's just that much tighter and that much more creative of Hassan interacting with the video walls and stuff. And it's just some of the most impressive TV week to week to week. And I just really hope that it doesn't end because I feel like we're getting towards the end of the original deal of how many episodes he signed on for. Do you watch it? You should check it out.
I want to.
It is so
What was
so
the
good.
latest episode on?
Man, I'm totally
Or
blanking
one
right
of the
now.
latest
One
episodes.
of them was
The new
mental
season.
health.
Mental health was the first one back, and the second one was just about Trump and the border and things like that, and other sides of it, where it's not just how it affects the American-Mexico border, but how it affects even further south and
Right,
all
right.
that stuff. And it was interesting shit, man.
Yeah.
Scary as fuck.
I'm
Interesting shit.
so excited to jump into that show because now we're on the season 5 kind
Season
of
5.
Yeah, and it's there's quite a bit of backlog for me to watch, and I love those kind of shows. Did you watch The Imagineering Story?
I saw episode 1. Episode 2's on the
I watched it.
my iPad
Watched
for the
them
flight.
both.
Loved it.
I loved it,
Yeah.
and I cry a lot
It's
because it's it's the history of the park, so it's super interesting.
and it's using footage from when they first open, and it's
it
there's so
gives me
much.
goosebumps
Yeah,
every
it's-
time I hear Walt's voice. I just
It's I also watched the second episode of it,
Yeah.
and man, I'm
Disney
loving
World
that show.
episode.
Yeah, Disney World, and it looks like episode 3 is gonna be Disney Tokyo.
I think so.
With the
Yeah.
harder
That's
emphasis.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
like the way they transition. The end of the show,
Exactly.
starts talking about the next episode.
So not to go on too much of a tangent here, but it's interesting. We're now in week 2 or 3. I guess this is week 3 of Disney Plus, and seeing that originals line kind of stay the exact same, but every week get updated episodes for
Yeah.
the majority of the shows
Right.
is cool because it's a different way than what we're used to for these streaming services.
Right.
But what's interesting is I feel like a lot of these shows are going to run their course
Right.
by January.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is Disney Plus's strategy for introducing new shows? Is there going to always be something new every week, like a new lineup of shows where maybe every 2 months there is 8-episode switchovers?
I would be totally okay with them taking 2 weeks in between a new release of
Really specific, yeah.
or sometime in between.
Yeah.
Small
Right,
break.
yeah.
I would like it to be small. I want to make that clear. But it
You
is.
don't want 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off.
Yeah, it is really cool though. Having something to watch every week and being excited for a show.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And it's just so funny because I feel like we've all as streaming has become such a way more prevalent, we've all kind of moved away from the week to schedule for shows, and it's interesting to be drawn back to it.
I like that we have both, though. I like that Netflix, for the most part, is the kind of binge model, but I guess Patriot Act, like the shows that I consume and love the most are the ones that are weekly. Right. But with the Disney stuff, I'm hoping that they see this as an opportunity to do something special that Netflix and the like haven't done, which is, you know, we can all see the end of the tunnel of this content. Is there going to be, not a press conference, but maybe some type of like, They handled the launch so well when it came to the hype of like putting out those videos and the tweets of the thumbnails and images. Is there going to be some type of like, yo, here's like 2020?
What's the Nintendo events called? The
Nintendo Direct.
Directs?
Like,
imagine
that
Disney Plus
structure
Direct.
would be so
That
cool.
would be
really cool.
And like, even if they just posted a video on there that is like, hey, the 2019 update or 2020 update.
It's brilliant.
Like, that would be really cool. I'm very curious to see how that goes, and I'm also curious to see what happens when it ends. Question: do you guys know when the show's released? Is it always on Friday?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish it was more of a staggered schedule because
I
I'd
think
love
they're
to
going
be like,
to eventually do that.
Yeah.
I think that right now they're just trying to like have the big day where it's like they know that everyone's going to be talking on this one day. But I do imagine that when there's too much content out, it's going to be a little bit more spread out.
Well, the weekly thing works because everyone can sort of watch at the same pace. Like, you notice, like, everybody's watching like, you can fit one episode in, but if they threw out a whole season, like, people can't all binge it in one day, or it'll take a whole week, and then that's when spoilers come out and blah, blah, blah. But, like, everybody by this point is up to date with episode 2 of things, and then tomorrow it'll come out, and like it's really fun. Like, everybody's watching at the same time. Like, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's certainly doing a good job keeping the conversation alive.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything else, Tim?
That's pretty much it.
Belinda, did you watch anything good this week?
I watched Imagineering Store. I've been going through Disney Plus and like trying to see. I've been like bouncing between old stuff and then new stuff. So I watched Noelle.
I did too.
I have like 1/3 of it left. But I really like it.
I feel like when you said that you keep creeping, like you're like, I'm halfway there. I have a third left.
It's just because I haven't had time to like sit down and watch it all.
How'd you feel about Noelle?
I really enjoyed it.
I had a good time. I think it went on like way longer than I thought it was gonna go on. Like, I was like, oh, it could stop now, or it could stop now, or it could stop now. But I thought it was fun, and it made me want Christmas like really bad.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I was like, all right, I'm ready. Like, let's go.
It reminded me a lot of like Elf, where it was like it had good comedic beats and
super like Elf.
Yeah. And like
Anna Kendrick is really funny.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're a fan of Anna Kendrick, you should watch the season
I
premiere of
love
Patriot
her.
Act.
Really?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just leave that little
that was a
line.
tie I was not expecting.
It's just it's a good movie that like what I love about Elf is like there's like a really detailed world built out for the North Pole, and I feel like they do such a good job doing that also with Noelle. And it's just like I if you like Christmas movies, I think this is a really, really fun one.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Also, I like all her outfits.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I love
They're
all her
so
outfits.
beautiful.
They're very
I
good.
loved them.
Did I try to talk Paula into like doing 25 days of Christmas outfits?
Yes.
And she was like, "Well, maybe you should do it." And I was like, "That's a great idea, sweetheart. That's a great idea."
Oh, only Kevin would give an idea to Paula, have her repeat it back to him, and say, "That's a great idea."
I love it.
Yeah,
I loved it. It was. I'm ready for Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
It was really fun.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
And then I've been going back and watching, like, I watched Treasure Planet like twice in a
awesome.
week.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And something about Disney Plus that I really appreciate is the quality, because like I could watch Treasure Planet on a VHS if I wanted to, you know what I mean? But like seeing it like that,
Blu-ray, man.
it was beautiful.
Or 1080p. It's not 4K.
No, I'm just saying like 4K
But-
Blu-rays are the way to go.
Go back and watch Treasure Planet
I love that
Atlantis.
movie.
It was
Atlantis,
really,
man.
really
Yeah, you got some good
beautiful.
pulls right now.
They're so beautiful.
It's also
It's very
cool.
telling how old you are. 'Cause, like, those were the new Disney movies for your age group, right? Like, those would have been the ones that were in theaters when you
Right,
were
yeah.
around that age. Because I was, like, middle school.
Right.
Yeah, because I have I have a little bit of attachment to Atlantis, and I have like none for Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
So I might have just been in that
Treasure
weird
Planet's dope.
transition.
Treasure Planet's so dope. I think Atlantis is such a like cool movie too, and it's one like both those movies I don't think hit big in like the movie theaters, and it's cool
Exactly.
that we have a place that's so easily accessible. Good on you, Disney.
If I remember correctly, I mean, Treasure Planet kind of tanked their 2D division.
Yeah,
right.
it
Wasn't
did.
that their last 2D movie, or am
Treasure
I
Planet
wrong?
wasn't that made by a different
No, the
company?
last 2D movie was Princess and the Frog.
Well, yeah,
But that was
a
them-
resurgence.
Oh,
yeah,
right, yeah.
Yeah, Treasure Planet definitely like caused major issues, but like there's like an awesome 40-minute YouTube video of someone breaking down that like it was kind of the rollout that also screwed it over.
Right.
Yeah.
One last thing now that you're talking about the nostalgia stuff that I did watch is Gargoyles episode 1, 2,
Me
and 3.
too.
I watched those last night,
Yeah,
actually.
dude,
It's a great show.
a great
so
show.
fun.
Yeah.
Again, looks great.
It
right?
does. It
Yeah.
looks great. Like the character design is just so fun, and the music, man, like it's just
awesome.
so epic.
So I was watching that, and I've got my Hue lights set up to match,
Oh my
and
God.
it adds
That's
it
so
adds so much
cool.
because there's so many times where like the sky is like this cool pink,
Orange,
orangey
pink,
color,
yeah.
and it's like it's shooting out from everywhere, and it's just like I love this. This is the only way I want to watch stuff. Yeah.
Talking about like Atlantis and Treasure Planet, and I don't think they did well like for Disney. Those are the movies I wish they would remake because they would look so cool as like a live action remakes. So I wish they went back, take the movies that didn't do well, and then live
Give them a
action
second
remake
life.
them, and then they would be like I would totally go see a live action Treasure Planet.
100%. I could see that being on like the like having a lot of pirates kind of like aesthetic.
Exactly.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just pirates in general, but like
Yeah,
it
no.
has pirates in general. Yeah.
Pirates has a connotation
Yeah,
at this point.
Good,
especially when
good.
we're talking
That's what I was
about
hoping for.
I watched some episodes of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody because
Because why the fuck not?
my
Because
brother
you can?
My brother came over the weekend, and and we just did Pokemon raids, and then watched Sweet Life and Hannah Montana. And
What a
just,
world we
like,
live in.
It's
Yeah.
so fun. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But weirdly, it's like a square. Like it's,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
4x3.
And-
The problem with old technology is like they didn't shoot it in the 16:9
Right, so you
ratio that's
can't-
standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when they tried to fix stuff like the Simpsons
Simpsons.
stuff, and that's one of our
Right.
news stories. People get mad because it cuts things out
Right,
that were
that
meant
makes
to be in the
sense.
frame.
Yeah. I watched all the Spark shorts again.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Again.
Dude, they're so good.
They're
Yeah.
so good.
I got them all
If
on
you
my for the London trip.
if you
I still
haven't seen
the new
them,
ones.
like they're bite sized, you can watch them on your commute or whatever. But they're so fun.
Yeah,
like
sorry.
really, 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 really great. I think that's it. I'm still in the fourth season of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm almost done, but I don't want to finish it. So I've been lagging on that, but it's one of my favorite shows ever. But yeah.
Paula always has it on the background. I
Really?
feel like I can get into it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
We started watching with episode 1, but it was one of those things where I was like playing some
Right, yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
game, and I was like, sweetheart, I don't think I can pay attention to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that's on my list perpetually. And this is another reason why I don't understand why you're not on TikTok. Because I feel like
I
there's so
refuse.
much crazy like
refuse.
clips of music that you would know from watching TikTok are from that. And then I like just recently put it together that that's what it's from. I was like, shoot, I need to start this.
Joey keeps sending me TikTok videos to get me to sign up for TikTok. And
You don't have to make them. You just have to watch them.
I
consume.
know.
Because there's so much like Broadway content and Disney content,
know.
which is very much your stuff.
I love
is.
it.
I'm a big fan of our Internet Explorers Slack channel.
Oh, 'cause
Because
it's
like
just
Joey
all
puts
the
in a lot of
TikTok
TikToks
videos?
in there, and it's like, yeah.
TikTok.
Joester, you watch anything good this week you want to talk about?
I also watched a lot of Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah, you did.
I watched the first Imagineering, which I really liked and it's so good, and I'm excited to watch 2. I'll probably just wait till tomorrow and watch 2 and 3.
They're long though. It's the only thing.
They are
Yeah.
way longer than
and
I thought.
I
Yeah, which
love
is
how
great
long
that
they
they're
are.
long.
Yeah.
Which is great, but
'Cause
when I
everything else
started
is-
it, I was
yeah,
like,
short.
"Oh wow, this is just keep going." Like I thought they were gonna be full, like shorter episodes because it was a series, but
But I like
I'm
that
down.
they're longer. Like they're full documentaries about seemingly
Specific things.
Disneyland
Yeah.
World,
Right.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I rewatched Mandalorian because I went home and I wanted to show my parents. So it was nice to get to rewatch that because when I went with you guys, I had just watched it for the first time. I hadn't watched it
Yeah.
yet.
What was
So that
your
was
mom's
fun.
reaction?
My mom really liked the end of episode 1 and is
Yeah.
really sold. My dad like fell asleep and didn't care about it, and then he texted me like 2 days ago and was just like lines from the show. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Nice.
you're totally in."
Nice.
Like
I love
this.
it.
And then I watched the Lady and the Tramp movie.
Okay.
I watched that too.
I thought it was really cute.
I really enjoyed it. Like I
if
had a
Lady and
good
the
time.
Tramp live action didn't get Joey, that would be a massive fuck up
It
on
was
their part.
really
Yeah.
cute. They left out some things that I really love about the original like Lady and the Tramp, which is so
The racist
solid.
stuff.
Yeah.
But they took out like yeah.
That's Belinda's favorite.
But because I have a Siamese cat, so now it's my favorite part. And they took out the song, but I thought it was really endearing, and you know, Tessa Thompson's voice is awesome.
Yeah.
And I loved
Very
hearing
good,
it.
yeah.
So
For sure.
yeah.
And I liked the way that they like changed all the other like side dog characters, but like still kept them kind of the same.
Right.
How's Scotty in it?
Jock.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Same
yeah. He's a Scottish Terrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name's not Scotty in the original?
No.
No,
No.
it's
Damn.
Jack.
But
I feel like I
but
just
it's-
always called him Scotty.
But like
he-
she's
Jacques
she's
is
a
a
girl
girl
in this
girl
one,
in
yeah.
this one.
But she's great. Still
Yeah. Same-
Scottish,
same-
yeah.
yeah.
And
Accent.
Sam Elliott as the hound dog is
So
so
good.
perfect.
He's
It's
so perfect for the role.
Like I want to like
Yeah.
hug him so
Yeah.
bad.
And I liked Janelle Monáe, and like she was
Right.
a cute little dog too.
Yes.
And yeah, I thought that they did like a really good job recreating it. I totally understand why this was a Disney Plus movie and not a theatrical release,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I don't think that it would have done super well.
Yeah.
And I think this is the perfect like
Place for those
Yeah.
type of movies.
Yeah.
Like-
I do hope they do more of those that are just on Disney Plus.
I
Because
do
like
too.
that is a fun thing that I don't have to go to the movies for, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder which movies though would like really work for that. Like I do think that
Treasure
like,
Planet.
Yeah,
You could
but
do
like
Treasure Planet.
I don't know if the budget's right for
No,
that.
right.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's true.
So you just kind of like the budget
Yeah.
becomes a big problem translating animated to live action,
Right.
especially with the more fantastical elements or talking animals.
Lady and the Tramp, I thought was fun. Like Paula, who like specializes in animation, was like, "No, yeah, the lip sync's not great," but I was like, "It's good enough for me." Yeah.
yeah, it's animals, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like I have a bigger pass for that. What else did I watch? I watched Dan in Real Life, which is on Disney Plus. Really, it's one of like my favorite movies. It's Steve Carell. It's a little bit older, and it's really, really good. It's like one of those just like slice of life, like family kind of movies. What else did I watch? I caught up on like High School Musical, the musical, the series. I caught up. I feel like
I
there was one more
rewatched
thing.
those episodes. I loved it so much.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else.
Well, we went
that
to
I
the
had done.
movies too. We watched
Oh yeah, we
a
watched
couple
a lot
of movies yesterday.
What did we watch?
The first one was Honey Boy.
Oh yeah. Interesting. Not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought it was also really different than what I thought like it was gonna be, but I really liked it.
Man,
It's just very dark and like
It's-
Really
I walked
bunch
out there
of-
feeling
His dad's still alive.
so bad for Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Like
Aw.
that's the environment and like that he grew up in,
So I know Honey Boy is the Shia LaBeouf directed movie.
and stars.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like
I didn't
about
realize
his
he,
life.
no, he did not direct it.
Wrote
It was
wrote
Alma
and, yeah.
Harrell.
Harrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about his life.
Yes.
How directly is it about his life? Like, is it like
He
is the
wrote
it.
character
It's-
named Shia?
No.
Okay.
Well, I assumed that Otis was a nickname that they had for him.
I just assumed that was his name.
Either
you have
way,
it?
do they like go into like even Stevens and Transformers?
show
yeah,
it.
and-
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
show like
they
but
don't
it's
ever
small.
name the
Yeah.
show,
Any
but
of
you
the
can
show.
tell that it's even
Yeah,
Steven
it's like
Seagal.
clearly
Oh my God,
that's
that's
supposed to be
cool.
the
Is
dad.
it to his life up till now?
No, it's
There's some major gaps.
Yeah, there's some like it focuses I think on two areas, mainly focusing on well, I
Him
guess
in rehab.
him in rehab, but
then childhood
he's
flashbacks.
like going through childhood traumas that like affected him. Yeah,
As part
It's-
of his rehab and like therapy stuff.
yeah. I thought it was a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
But it was
Lucas
yeah, it was
Hedges was
such a
really, really
he
good.
was very
He's good
good.
in everything.
He
Yeah.
nailed his mannerisms, like Shia LaBeouf's actual mannerisms, like when you see him in interviews and stuff. He like nailed them. There was like a couple moments where he's talking to people, and you're like, "Whoa!" Like I didn't realize Shia LaBeouf had so many little mannerisms that
Intricacies.
someone, yeah.
Did they do the do it thing at all? Did they talk about
No,
that?
they did not.
No,
Yeah.
that was all before. All of that
Was that
stuff.
before?
The movie was all before.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The
Yeah,
dude
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Did you guys also see Marriage Story?
We did not. No,
we went
were
to the
gonna.
wrong movie theater.
Yeah.
And then we were
And
really
that
tired.
That was
Oh,
enough.
no, you pulled an Andy.
Yeah.
That
On a
is the
big
one.
scale.
That is the one I wanted you guys to see the most.
I know. I really
we
wanted
really wanted
to
to see it. We were
But then
tired.
it was like
and it was
we were at
20 minutes away,
Metreon and we had to go to Embarcadero
and I had a car, so it was gonna be a problem.
and we had like 10 minutes to
I'm
do it.
so
Yeah.
upset right now.
I'm
upset
so
too.
excited to see it.
We'll have to wait till it comes out.
Well, I don't know if I'm excited to see it because it seems like a weird movie to be excited for
Right,
because
like-
it seems really, really heavy. But
So you watched it?
Yeah, I saw it 2 weeks ago. I think it's amazing.
Yeah?
It's really, really great. It's not as heavy. Well, it's not as heavy as you think it's going to be.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
It's really funny.
That's a good one.
Like,
Oh.
I wasn't prepared for it to be that funny.
I got a little bit of that from the trailer with seeing the mom interact with Adam Driver, where it
Right.
was like, okay, I hope they have more of that.
Yeah.
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 All right,
It
cool.
is. It's
Great.
a lot of that, and it's really great. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, for sure.
Oh, we started talking about trying to make that list, and I got really
It's
stressed
very-
out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough list. I forgot that Booksmart came out this year, and it was one of those.
Wait,
where,
Right?
you can now watch it on Hulu.
Yes,
If you
you
haven't
can.
watched
Watch it on
it,
Hulu.
That's on.
go watch it.
Go watch on
Sorry.
Hulu.
Yeah.
I
No,
said
no,
that.
you
After
no,
Screencast.
please. Like any movie like that should definitely deserve more attention on it as much as possible.
And then we
then
watched Queen and Slim.
Oh shit, you did.
Yeah.
We did. We went last night.
I don't like the tone that you guys have right now.
It's a lot. It's way more. I mean, I knew going into it that it was going to be intense, but Kevin made a point yesterday as we were like talking about it that it felt a little bit like Joker in the sense that there were a lot of things I liked about it, but the messaging about it seemed like a little bit inconsistent. And I understand that like the nature of the movie, I think there are things that inherently I'm not going to understand because I'm not Black. I haven't lived that experience, but it's Daniel Kaluuya, I think, is excellent.
the acting, I think overall is phenomenal. But I think it was something you said where it's like it's consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
Just kind of
I
like
didn't love her character.
Oh, I did not love her character, but I don't think we were supposed to.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has multiple messages that it's trying to get across, and it like doesn't really decide which one it wants to go with. And I mean, it is a powerful movie, but overall, it's just I don't think that I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to talk with, this is one that I like actively want to seek out like people who are talking about it. So if you know people
I'm sure
that are,
Louis Medina is
yeah,
talking
like
about
I want to know what those conversations are to see what I'm missing from it. Cause as I was going through like the hashtag and stuff last night, like, and there was a lot of people in our theater that were like crying at the end.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me that emotionally, but I want more information to see like what parts of it that I'm missing. I don't know. It did feel like a weird, because have you seen the trailers for it, both of you? So yeah, that all happens in like the first like 10 minutes of the movie.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So, but it talks about, yeah, obviously like the police brutality side of things, and then but then it's also like weirdly how they become these like figures that
Icons.
yeah,
Yeah.
icons. But it's like I don't know. It's like a
And then like
muddled
somewhere
message.
in
I don't know.
the middle, like that message becomes like a bigger part of like you're immortal now. Like even if something happens to you, everyone's gonna remember you.
You'll be a martyr,
And like
yeah.
like a young
And it's also
kid being
not a
like,
life
I
that they
also
really
want that.
wanted.
No, not at all.
So that's why I'm a little bit confused by it. But
This is intriguing.
Yeah,
This is making me want to
the
watch
music
it more.
for it is like really interesting.
I actually really liked how they were, because it was like, I mean, they're running away, so there's long stretches of them on the freeway, and that's when they would kind of change the music, and like I thought that was a cool way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it didn't seem like consistent with the tone necessarily, so I don't know
At
if it
all,
was
yeah.
like trying to bring levity to it.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack itself is really great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then there's like one scene in the middle that juxtaposes between two different things that are happening.
And they're very different. Very different.
And that's the
I
thing that
think
was
we
the
can-
most confusing
yeah.
to me.
Don't spoil it.
Okay, all right.
I'm interested.
Yeah, and it just I was just gonna say one more thing about it, but now it's slipping my mind. Yeah, I don't know that I would recommend to go watch this one in theaters. I think this is more of a wait till it comes to streaming services.
If you saw the trailer and you were intrigued by it, I think it's worth seeing because I do think that they do give really good performances. The girl who I don't go ahead and you can
I just remembered what I was gonna say. My biggest problem with this movie is I feel like obviously it started off by like a terrible thing that happens, and then I just feel like the characters keep making bad decisions where it's like there's better outs for it, and it's like I don't really understand like the decision. Like I mean, the initial decision of running away to me just like. I feel like there's a better option than that, and one of the characters is like, I don't know that I want to run away, and like they just act with that, like, you know, without super thinking of the consequences, and they double down on that, doing things that are not like good things to continue their journey forward.
Yeah, but I also think that we're operating with knowledge that they don't have as it gets further in the movie of like, I don't know. What would you do in that situation? Like, it seems like it's kind of like the horror movie thing where it's like, oh, why are they doing that? But when you're in it, you're like, fuck, that kind of seems like the best option.
But I feel like there's a point where I don't think it's spoiling too much where they like run out of gas and they like go to rob a gas station and it's like maybe try to figure out something else. But it is like the only solution.
But like what else do you like?
Yeah, but I feel like that's now like a crime was committed that like I don't know that like he handled it like in the like I feel like he kind of did what he had to, you know what I mean? It's a very complicated thing where it's like the dude was being really aggressive and like he was protecting himself, but like then committing kidnapping and robbery, like that's not going to put you in a good position, you know, to like argue your point ever.
What else have you watched?
Man, I watched a lot of stuff. I caught up on Watchmen and it's getting great.
You were down on it in the beginning, right?
Well, it's just one of those things where it's like, I was really worried that they weren't going to give us answers for stuff, and they were just going to set up questions and like kind of like season 2 and like be one of these shows that keeps going and never really like gives you satisfying answers for the questions they're putting up. But I like with episode 4, I think that just came out. Like I feel like we're starting to get some solid answers, and like it's keeping me intrigued. I'm really excited to see where the rest of the season goes.
Do you like the week-to-week rollout for this?
I do, because it is one of the few shows that leaves me being like, I want more right now. And like, I feel like the waiting and like thinking about the story like is good for like what this show is.
Yeah.
I also continue to watch Mrs. Fletcher. That show's getting great. The acting is phenomenal. The story's really picking up. Can't recommend it enough.
That's the Catherine Hahn one, right?
Yes. Yeah. I watched Silicon Valley. I love that show. I
well.
think that they like I don't super love how they're moving like where the Jared character went, and like I kind of feel like they went a little too hard on his journey.
He had a great moment, and then I feel like right now it's a little aimless, and it does feel like we're back into the normal circle
Like,
of things.
oh, I guess things kind of resolve themselves, and you're back to the old routine. And it's just like
we got 5 episodes left, right? Like I feel
Is this the last season?
it is.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I'm liking the direction.
But overall,
that they're going.
I still enjoyed the episode. It was still, as always, very
Funny as
funny and
hell.
awesome. I also watched His Dark Materials, which is a show that I've been enjoying the shit out of. It's weird. The world is so complex, and they do a really good job of giving us information and like having us understand what's going on. Something Chronicles. Golden Compass was the movie version that came out. But yeah, this seems like it's way more detailed, and I'm really stoked that it's like this long show that we can get into. Some weird stuff happened in this last episode, but again, it's one of those things where it's putting you in a place where it's like, I want to see what happens next week. That's a Monday release.
That's kind of rough.
Yeah, and it really
HBO,
screws
right?
things. Yeah, it's HBO, and it kind of really screws it up where I never remember to do it on Monday, and it's one of those things that
Right.
we'll randomly pick up later. Like we did 2 episodes, I think, on Tuesday this week, but it was cool. And then
I keep asking people, I'm like, when Lin-Manuel gets in it, tell me and I'll start watching.
and that's it for the stuff that I've watched this week. Now it's time for the news.
News.
Not too much news, but some quick stuff that I want to get into
some of
before
that
we
good news.
jump into the Frozen stuff. Despite the director and cast wishes, Warner Bros. Has no plans to release the Snyder Cut.
Second Greg. I expect him to pop in as some character any minute. Who the fuck
run
knows?
through the
You know
wall.
what I mean?
I think it's so
Shirtless
fascinating.
Batman, Watto, McGonagall. Who the hell knows?
Maybe a new one. Maybe Red Bull Man comes back.
God.
Oh no.
So many of the stars of the Justice League have released like tweets or Instagram posts
Right.
being like, "Hey, like I've seen the Snyder Cut," or "Yeah, let's watch the Snyder Cut," and it's just like I don't think that will make it.
I have no idea, man. If it exists, we're gonna see it.
You think so?
Yeah. Like
Eventually.
especially
Do you
with
think that,
HBO
like-
Max being a thing. Like I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to happen soon. I do think that by the time Greg Miller dies, he will have seen the Snyder Cut of freaking Justice League.
At least just Greg.
Yeah,
Yes.
at least just Greg. But
I am
like,
out.
this wouldn't happen if it wasn't going to go somewhere. And
You think it's
this
just viral
update,
marketing
I mean, I feel like it might have started.
as a
Look, let me put it
thing?
this way. This might be true information. This director, whatever the actual headline there was.
Warner Bros. Has no wishes to actually put this
That
out.
could be absolutely true. The fact that all this happened is going to will this into existence. You can't get away from it at this point.
I wonder at what state it's at. Like, is it?
A full movie?
Yeah, I doubt that it's there. I can't imagine the effects are in. Also, I wonder if there's like chunks that are just storyboarded, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like animatics.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's just like, and again, will this make Justice League a good movie?
I mean, those are different questions.
Because I mean, Zack Snyder put out a bunch of these DC movies, and do we love any of them?
I'd be very interested in watching what this Snyder Cut is, just to see how it differs. But
Exactly.
I don't think it has a chance at being good. But that's just based off of what you just said.
And especially with like the people that are tweeting out about this, like from cast and crew, I feel like are setting it at a level of like, I don't think it's ever going to be as good as like the way that they're talking about it. Like there's such high expectations about it.
I
think from the people that want to like it and really want to see it, that I don't think it's ever really going to live up to that.
Right.
That's so true. Yeah. All right, let's move
still
on
fun, though.
to our next story. One just for Sweet Barrett. Yeah. Better Call Saul season 5. We've got a date. February 23rd, 2020. You
Cool
excited,
Greg's
Barrett?
birthday.
Cool Greg's birthday. Hell yeah, that's
Oh,
a great
it is.
that's a great present for Cool Greg. I'm excited for this. I'm a little worried that they're not presenting this as the final season, so that tells me that they have a little more. Either way, I do trust Vince Gilligan for like whatever story he wants to tell and how much time that takes to tell it. Like I will be on that ride with him. But I was hoping that we're maybe going to wind down soon. Maybe it's season 6. I don't know. But I just hope they don't. I hope the story doesn't overstay its welcome because I think it's fucking fantastic so far. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where Saul Goodman goes because we're finally getting that persona out after a good 3.5 seasons. We finally got a little bit more of it in season 4. So I'm excited to see where he turns and how he burns all of these bridges with characters we'd never see in Breaking Bad. So they got to be cut at some point.
It's like Han, you know what I mean? It's like we knew he was getting back to Tokyo at some point, but we just didn't know when.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very close to actually start watching that show again.
Dude,
Give
it's
it
so
another
good.
shot. I
It's
know.
so good.
That's what you say. We'll see.
Season 1, I would say, is better than the first season of Breaking Bad.
Oh, the first season of Breaking Bad's real good.
I'll take Barrett coming in hot.
It's a slow season.
It's a slow season, but that doesn't make it bad. Moving on to our next news story. Disney set new batch of release dates, including new Marvel movies in 2023.
Yeah, man.
This is some
obviously knew it was
interesting
coming. Like these are not surprising dates. They follow the same pattern that MCU movies have the last couple years, with the exception of this year being kind of weird with Guardians being pushed back the way that it was and all that. But the news here is that we are in a 4 MCU movie a year cycle.
I'm all in, dude.
That's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That might bump to 5 when you add the Spider-Man movies.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
wild.
That's a lot.
And on top of that, Disney
Disney
Plus
Plus,
shows.
I know.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot here. These
Do you
dates.
want to pull up the Barrett? Can you pull up the article so we can have the dates here so that Tim can see them?
I don't have my glasses on. I can see.
Okay, I can
anything,
tell you them.
so-
October
Same.
7th, 2022.
Sorry, what?
October 7th,
Okay.
2022.
Uh-huh.
February 17th, 2023. May 5th, 2023. July 28th, 2023.
When you start kind of doing the math on all of this, is there one more?
Yeah, November 3rd, 2023.
It's like it all does kind of start to piece together. We know so much information about movies that already have the dates. We know so much information of movies that are in the works that don't have dates, and that's where they start sliding in.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp
Yeah.
is shooting in 2021. It's coming out, or sorry, Ant-Man 3, whatever it's going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
It has a director. It's shooting next year, as in after a month from now. It's going to come out 2022, right? Like,
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
has to.
They have
Yeah, they put slashfilm.com put together like their guesses.
Possibility list,
Yeah.
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 And they have Ant-Man 3 right now is July 29th, 2022.
Oof. Maybe.
The interesting one is
Yeah.
Deadpool 3 is their guess for February 18th, 2022.
I could see that flipped.
Me too.
Yeah.
But also, I can see that. This is
Deadpool's
where.
came out around Valentine's Day last year and for the first one, or just last year?
For the first one, for sure.
It was
did.
just the first one. The second one, I think,
Was
was
summer?
in May. around Solo.
Got it.
I think Barrett's looking into
Because it was around Infinity War and Solo.
Huh?
Which
Can you
one?
find out when Deadpool 2 released?
Ooh.
Do we know when the Marvel
May.
Disney Plus shows are coming out yet?
We know
Yeah, it was May
time
18th
frames
for
for
Deadpool
them,
2.
so we know fall
It was the
next
18th?
year.
May 18th
Oh,
for
May
Deadpool.
18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall 2020 for Captain and Winter Soldier, and then it's essentially like season by season.
We're going on the date there.
forever.
Forever.
Forever after that.
Until
Yeah.
the end of time.
But then there are other movies that we just know are happening at some point. Fantastic Four, Blade. I think Blade's further than
I think it's
They have
think-
Blade
Yeah.
slotted for
Yeah, they're
October
guess.
2022.
Yeah.
which I
October
could.
7th.
Blade to me feels more
I could see-
23.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a
I'm-
chance of being 22.
Because, yeah, they have Blade October 2022, Captain Marvel 2 February 2023.
Yeah, I would
Guardians
see those two flipped.
3 May 2023, Fantastic Four July 2023, and then rebooted X-Men November 2023.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Just
but,
speculation.
I do think that Captain Marvel 2 is going to be Secret Wars somehow, and it's going to tee up the next Avengers movie.
that would make sense.
Like I think that they're going to work in conjunction together.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
It is kind of wild that all of these movies, in speculation with this list, like, we won't get another Avengers movie for
Potentially
A while.
years,
Yeah.
which is I think very cool. Like earliest would be 2023, but 2024 I think is more.
I also have a
Likely.
feeling that, like, I really think that we're going to get a Spider-Man movie sooner rather than later.
We already have a Spider-Man date.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
Oh.
July 2021.
21.
Oh. I'm
Yeah,
such a dummy.
no, it's
All right,
so
yeah.
Spider-Man's going to be every 2 years. That's how the deal works. So Sony wants a Spider-Man movie every 2 years. We're going to get a Spider-Man movie every 2 years.
Oh, man.
Is it MCU or is it not? I don't know. Do they figure that out somehow? I imagine they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that we might be getting because Spider-Man's there now. It's not there for the 2023 or wait 2023. If it was added, that'd be 5 movies that year.
Yeah. Now, when do we hit the saturation point of, like, all right, this is enough MCU?
I don't think as long as the stories are good, I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
I think that these movies are different than Star Wars. They're different than an anthology series. They're different than anything because it's episodic in nature and it's storytelling
Right.
in a way that they've done such a good job of having arcs and having phases that are clear, new beginnings, new characters,
I
introductions, all
think
that
it's
stuff.
mimicking how comics release, and I think that's really smart. Is like section by section, all happening at the same time, and then coming together for an event, and then pulling back out,
Yeah.
and like having their own 6-issue thing. So that's why I think it's really smart.
Yeah. I think there was the fear with the comics though, because comics at some point
Yeah,
jump the
go-
shark,
yeah.
and then
Right.
it's just then it turns to insanity.
Right.
That's going to happen at some point if there isn't somebody that's really making sure it doesn't.
Right.
They have Kevin right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a Kevin.
All right, well, let's move on to our next news story. The Simpsons aspect ratio problem on Disney Plus will be fixed in early 2020. This story, I kind of want to put it in here to talk about any Disney Plus issues that we've been having. Like, everyone was saying last week that the sync on different devices
Yeah.
wasn't working, and it was working for me. Ironically, in the last 2 days, it hasn't been working, and
Yeah.
they also just announced that it
They
should
put
be
out a
fixed.
patch update today, or
Today,
like update
yeah.
announcement today that now you can resume watching where you are,
Ooh.
where you left off.
Nice. The continue
Was that
watching is
not
back.
always there?
So the thing with Disney Plus right now is when they launched, it had all the features, and then they
Yeah.
saw that there was a ton
Right.
of features that weren't working, and they're like, take them off. We got to work on them and fix them.
Right.
I really feel that within months, it's going to have all the functionality that we
Right.
could ever want or need.
Yeah.
How long do you think will be too long to wait for everything to start like working the way we expect with other streaming platforms?
I think that they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of the in its current state, I think it's totally watchable.
It's quality
I
of life
agree.
stuff
Yeah,
that'll
yeah.
only just make the experience better.
Right.
Right.
You know, like there are going to be people upset. There are going to be people bitching. That's
Totally.
life.
I
But
haven't
they're
had-
working on it and they're actively trying to fix it. So
I haven't
that's
had
the
any
thing.
major issues.
Me either.
At all. Like it's been totally fine.
I've had to
For me-
hard reset my app once because like it just got stuck in the loading screen. But other than that,
When you're scrolling, sometimes things will repeat. Like you'll be in one line and you'll
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
going
yeah.
and then you'll start seeing the same stuff. That's the only thing, but it's nothing. I wish searching was a little easier.
Yeah, I have a problem when I search on my phone. The search bar actually covers the
Yeah.
first one,
Yeah.
and it's just like that's always the one I want. Or
And then when you go
it's
to
like, I can kinda
search
see
and
it.
there's categories, like there's a category for Toy Story and cars and it's great, but it's just like 4 movies, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
you're like, but I like there should be a category for like shorts and you know what I
Right.
mean.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think like I'm fine watching things on it
The
right now.
two things that I find, one thing that's upsetting is that not everything's downloadable.
Yeah.
Most things are.
I
It's a
know
lot of
that.
the original content that you
Which is-
can't download.
Which is weird.
So I've had no problem with the original content, like at least the stuff that I downloaded for London, like High School Musical, Imagineering, Lady and the Tramp, Noelle. I was able to, and Mandalorian. So what can't you?
I don't remember what we were looking at last time, but there were like
was
a
something,
few
yeah.
things that
Interesting.
didn't have.
'Cause, yeah, I
so maybe they
downloaded-
just rolled it out slowly.
Maybe because but the one thing that I did run into an issue with was the Pixar documentary.
Oh,
For the old one from like a couple years
Yeah.
ago, like, and it just wouldn't let me download it. And I'm like,
Interesting.
it's kind of
Weird.
a bummer because I wanted to rewatch it. But the one other issue I have,
Wait,
and
really
it's-
quick before you move on to the other issue, I wanted to just chime in there because right now you can't download on your laptop,
Interesting.
which is like Paula was taking a flight and she didn't want to use her small
Right.
phone
Yeah.
because she
But
was going
isn't
to watch
that
something with her
fairly
sister.
normal? Like you can't do that on Netflix either, right?
right. It has to
Yeah.
be an
Well,
app.
I think you can if you have the Netflix like Windows app.
That might be right.
Yeah. Also,
You
there
have to
is
have an app though.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think.
There is also a workaround where you can download it on your phone and then somehow transfer it onto your computer. But it's like if that
It's not
workaround
meant to
exists,
work like that,
if that
though.
workaround exists, yeah. But like if they can't stop that, might as well double down and let people have stuff on their laptop.
Yeah, I was using an iPad for it all.
Yeah.
So it should work fine. On
Yeah, iPads were working totally fine for me.
But the one user interface thing that like definitely just seems like a glitch that I hope that they fix, but I don't really care because it's not that big of a deal. When you first open the app and it's just the different icons, so it'll be like a couple different names and then it's my name. So I'm on it. I can't just click in.
Oh, you
I need to
can
go
move
down
over.
and then up or over and over back to mine and then go in. It's really weird.
Is
Interesting.
that on your TV?
On my TV, yeah.
Yeah.
LG app, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I haven't been using the LG app because I've wanted to use the Hue lights to work in conjunction. So I've been using Chromecast,
Chromecast, yeah.
and like that's worked flawlessly. Yeah.
Is that the same one that Yusuf was having issues with? He was texting us about something this weekend that it
I
was.
think he has a Samsung TV, so it's whatever that is.
That
But
one's
I
been
have a
buggy.
Roku TV and it's been fine.
It's crazy that they were able to like launch and like have it on day one on all these different types of
that
TVs.
night,
Yeah.
I was texting Joey and I was like, "How is it working right now?"
Yeah.
I have like, I expected it to crash, so when it did, it didn't bother me.
But it still worked on certain platforms. The,
Right,
the
yeah.
following morning, it was working on Android, and I was able to use
It was fine
Chromecast
for
to
me,
watch
yeah.
it. Yeah.
My one weird thing is that this doesn't happen. I'm watching on PS4. And this doesn't happen when I'm doing anything else, but I've noticed that the PS4 will just disconnect itself from the internet while I'm watching Disney Plus. And I don't see it. Like, it'll happen like maybe 2 or 3 times in like us watching a couple episodes of a thing and like watching a movie. Like, I would say like in a 3-hour time, it will cut twice at least. But it doesn't regularly do that. Like I was playing Star Wars last night. I didn't see like anything say like you're disconnected from the internet or anything.
How do you like solve that issue?
I have to close the app, go in, and just basically like I'm hardwired in, so I had to go into the like LAN settings and be like connect now, and it's back, and it's like really interesting.
Yeah,
like,
that sucks too, because
Yeah.
that's like a more involved step than I thought it would be.
yeah.
Have you tried just unplugging it and plugging it back in?
God damn. That's
Classic
exactly.
That's a serious question.
That's
I
the
swear.
digital like thing to do. Yeah, we've
works,
been messing.
though.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of I've got a my TV's a Roku TV as well, so I'm thinking of maybe just downloading
over to that.
Yeah, over
Yeah.
there. So and seeing if it's any better. And then that's pretty much it. I'm still getting like the weird. I was telling you this like when it came out, like it's not frame drops, but like every once in a while there will be frame skips, and I'm wondering if that's like the app
really
like
weird.
if it's the app registering of like, oh, I'm streaming at 1080 but now 720 and stuff like that. But I don't see like a drop in quality at all. There's this weird frame skips every once in a while that I'm like, why are you doing that? Why? Stop doing it. That's about it.
As a closing note to these, the issues with Disney Plus, it's cool that we're getting like responses where they're like, "Hey, The Simpsons, we understand that's a problem. We will fix it." And the 4:3 ratio, 19 seasons of it are 4:3 ratio. Halfway through season 19, they switch over to 16:9, which is also what a weird
Why
thing.
halfway through the season?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Technology was there.
Yeah. And then one last Disney Plus thing. Apparently, a bunch of Disney Plus accounts are hacked because people keep using the same logins that have already been hacked on other platforms. So there's like a black market for Disney Plus accounts. Because $7, I guess, too expensive. They range from $3 to $11 a month for the logins. So yeah, just be aware. Right now, Disney Plus does not have a secondary or the two-factor authentication. So if your cat account was hacked at some point,
Your cat was hacked.
yeah, it may be hacked on this.
If your cat hacked your account.
Gotta be careful.
That was really scary the morning of, like, the night it came out, set everything up, and then the next morning. And I gave my mom my login, like, hey, check it out. And she was like, oh, it's not working. I was like, huh, that's weird. And I checked, like, I logged out and tried to log in again with my same password that I'd set up, and it was not working. And I didn't get an email saying, like, oh, you changed your password or anything. I was like, this is kind of fucking scary.
But it was just because it was down.
No, because even
it was the day after?
It was the morning of, right? And so even if I was able to, like, reset it and, like, put in get an email and all that stuff. And even when I logged in, it was like, all right, we're down. So it was purely like a weird login issue. So that was kind of scary. But I don't know if it might have been related to all their weird bugs or maybe, I don't know.
That first morning was tough with so many eyes on it.
How many sign-ins can you have on Disney Plus?
4.
4?
Well, 4 watching at the same time.
4 watching at the same time, but you can have multiple profiles?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
have
Up to
4
7.
profiles.
4.
Oh, really? 7
Yeah.
profiles?
7.
And 4 people can watch at the same time? That's what it is?
Crazy.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
That's
Good for them,
crazy.
yeah. Right now we have 4 profiles made on my account.
Me too.
And I don't think anyone is actually using except for mine. Yeah. All right, well, now it's time for some ads. Our first ad is from Hims. You've heard us talking about Hims and how they are helping guys look their best. Andy and Nick have been using Hims, and they have been loving it. 66% of men start to lose their hair by age 35. Once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? You can fight it. The best way to prevent more hair loss is to do something about it while you still have some. It's time to get a handle on those precious locks. This Black Friday, secure the best deal of all, a healthier, thicker hairline. Why do men turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? Forhims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. And there's an and missing there. Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help prevent hair loss. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. No awkward in-person doctor visits or long pharmacy lines. For Hims connects you to real doctors online, which could save you hours. Completely confidential and discreet, unless you're Nick and Andy, and then we talk about it all the time. Like I said before, this is so easy to do. I once witnessed Nick go through the whole process in minutes at the airport as we waited for our flights. It was really funny because he was like putting his phone up here. He could have asked for help, but he didn't, and he could do it himself, so good for him. This Thanksgiving, when your relatives say, healthy and full, they'll finally be talking about your hair and not the turkey. Try Hims today by starting out with a free online visit. Go to forhims.com/morning show. That's forhims.com/morning show. Forhims.com/morning show. Prescription products are subject to doctor's approval and require an online consultation with a physician who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went in person to the doctor's office or pharmacy. Remember, that's forhims.com/morning show. Our next ad is Upstart. As many of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is real easy. Getting out, real hard. especially if your credit score isn't great. Thankfully, there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers smarter interest rates to help you pay off high-interest credit card debt. When Greg Miller got his dream job at IGN.com, he had to move cross-country, which means he needed money. What did he do? Well, he took out a loan. His credit score was still new and not great, so he got stuck paying off the loan for years. If only Greg had known about Upstart. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes. The best part, once the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. If you plan correctly, that could be the very next day. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked #1 in its category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry to upstart.com/morning to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/morning. Our last ad for today, Untuck It. The holidays are almost here, and you know what that means. Gifts. And what's a better gift to give the guy in your life than stylish shirts that fit just right? Not much. Ever see an untucked button down? They look bad. Why? Because they weren't meant to be worn that way. It's so true. I love wearing button downs, but eventually you're going to untuck it, and it doesn't look good unless you go with Untuck It.
You look like a fool.
Thankfully, there's Untuck It, the original button-down shirt that actually designed to be worn untucked, no matter your size or shape. Untuck It shirts always fall at the perfect untucked length, and and with the holiday near, there's no better gift to give your favorite guy who needs an upgrade. I really like the button-down shirts, but yep, they always get untucked, and I look silly. Finally, a solution. They also have my favorite flannels. God, so many flannels. Different colors. Very excited about that. You can find your favorite Untuck It style online or check out one of their 80 brick and mortar stores. You can go to the store, check it out there, and then buy it online using our code. You know? Choose from styles like wrinkle-free button-down and super soft flannels, outerwear, and more. With Untuck It, your shirts will never look baggy, bulgy, or too long or too big again. They're always too long. I'm a bigger guy. I got to wear bigger shirts that are meant for taller people, and it's a bummer. And their website is so easy to use, they even have a whole page devoted to helping you find your fit. So whether you're shopping for the perfect holiday gift or just trying to craft a smart, relaxed style of your own, Untuck It is the way to go. Visit untuckit.com and use code MORNING for 20% off at checkout. That's untuckit.com and use promo code MORNING for 20% off. Now it's time to talk about Frozen.
Let's do it, man. Frozen 2. A whole new world to explore, a whole new adventure for Anna and Elsa. Belinda, you've seen this movie twice.
I have
It's
seen
not
this
even
movie
out for
twice.
most people.
We're
Wow.
also going to go see it
Tonight?
again today.
You too?
Yeah.
Oh, you
You're
too?
coming?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Paula's coming.
Yeah.
Trevor Starkey's
Oh,
coming.
really?
Yeah. So there's gonna be a crew.
So guess what?
excited.
We like Frozen 2. We're going to keep it spoiler-free, correct?
Before we get into that, let me actually talk about what's coming out on streaming platforms.
Boom your thing, man.
So this week we've got on Netflix The Night Before Christmas. Joey, have you seen this trailer?
I love the. Wait, is it like?
The Night as in K.
Oh,
It's
I
about
have seen this
night
trailer.
teleports.
I am very excited for this.
We were like,
does
we
it look
love the
really?
night before.
I know. I was like, I do love the night before
Yeah,
Christmas,
yeah.
but why are you asking me? Now this makes sense. Yes, I have seen the trailer for it. Yes, it does look terrible, and yes, I'm going to watch it.
Hell yeah.
I think I am too. On Amazon Prime, we have The Fanatic. That's the Devon Sawa,
Oh.
John Travolta movie. That
I've
So you
heard
can check that
so
out.
many interesting things
it
about
looks
this that I'm
so
definitely going to watch
messed
it.
up. And then on Hulu, we have Booksmart, as we've all recommended many times. Go watch Booksmart.
it now.
Yeah.
Right now.
At movie theaters near you, this week we've got Frozen 2, 21 Bridges.
Which I also want to see.
It's not getting reviewed well.
I know, but
I think
I
it has
want
a 38 on
I
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
which
want
is
to. I
unfortunate.
want it to do well.
Yeah.
I like him.
Too many bridges. Too ambitious.
And then A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Hell yeah.
Last week, I asked you for your opinions on Disney Plus gems we may be missing out on. Joey Noel wrote in and said, Hidden Gem, Dan in Real Life.
It's so good. You should watch it. It's like a really fun Steve Carell. It's not like cringy Steve Carell, but it's just like good Steve Carell. Like Crazy Stupid Love Steve Carell.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love Crazy Stupid Love.
So it's just
Wholesome Steve Carell, some would say.
wholesome family Steve Carell. Has some Dane Cook, but like just the right amount of Dane Cook where you
Just
think
the
he's
right
funny.
amount.
He's not like Good Luck Chuck Dane
What was
Cook.
wrong with that movie? You know? Come on, guys. Employee of the Month, he's not that bad.
I don't know that I've ever seen Employee of the Month.
It's
Anyways,
not that bad.
you should watch it. It's really
It's not
funny.
good, though. Jacob, the Beard. I don't know if I should read the underscore or not. Took me a second to decide there. A hidden gem on Disney Plus is the 1995 Spider-Man TV show, specifically episode 16, Hydro Man. Spider-Man
Oh, shit.
and Mary Jane
Nice.
team up to take down MJ's ex-boyfriend, Hydro Man. It's
As
fantastic.
featured in the theme song. There's one shot
yeah,
from that episode.
yeah, that's
of
right.
Hydro
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I always loved like when shows did that, and then you see that in the
You're like,
episode. You're
oh,
whoa!
Yeah, I downloaded for the trip maybe like 6 episodes of Spider-Man, 6 episodes of X-Men. Just like, I'm just going to dabble.
Give it a
Just
little
a
taste.
taste
Give it a
of
little
everything.
taste.
Tim, you should download some of that X-Men Evolution, man.
I
Dabble a
didn't
little
do
more.
X-Men Evolution, but I did
Ooh.
do the Clone Wars thing that Greg did.
Oh.
Yeah, boy.
But only about 6 episodes.
That's fair.
Dabble here, dabble there.
I'm gonna
A
dip
little
in the Clone
sprinkle, a
Wars
little
soon.
Sprinkle.
I'm gonna dip into that Clone Wars real
Do it.
hard. I'm gonna go all the way
Clone
through.
Wars and Rebels do it. Rebels, hell yeah.
Mitch Craston writes in to say, my favorite hidden gem that I've already watched twice is one of the Pixar shorts, Float. It's only
Yay.
about 6 minutes long, but the animation is beautiful and it is super heartwarming.
Is that the Snow Globe
Little
one?
story.
It's the one with the baby.
No, the little
No.
baby that floats.
It's the baby.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen it. I want to go in and watch all the Pixar shorts, but like I feel like they can get real emotional,
That one's really emotional.
and I gotta be in the right mindset for
I
that.
can't wait to be on a plane tonight.
Float is the
Cry
first
my little eyes out.
Filipino
Oh, this is
CGI
the new one, right?
animated Pixar people. It's really exciting.
Yay!
But yeah, it's fun. But it's great. It's sad. But it's great. Well, it's
But
sad.
they're all
it's,
sad,
It's Pixar
right?
sad. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then our last one is from Adam Love. If you haven't, you need to watch Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I thought this motherfucker, Hidden Gems. Yo, this movie, Avengers Endgame. Pretty dope.
No, it's the Earth's Mightiest
Mightiest Heroes, yeah.
Heroes. Have you seen it all?
I haven't, but it's one of those shows that people talk about the way I talk about Spectacular Spider-Man, the one freaking Spider-Man show, not on the Disney Plus because it's Sony. You know what is crazy, Kev? The final episode of Spectacular Spider-Man was 10 years ago.
Oh,
like
man.
last week.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That is crazy because
Yeah.
I feel old now.
Yeah,
Thanks, Tim.
yeah.
Thanks for doing that to me.
You gotta find it, man. It's such a good
Twilight is
show.
11 years old today.
Wow.
I have no. That's no point of
Kendrick,
reference.
man.
No point of reference for that. It was Disney. It was a Disney XD cartoon that came out before the first Avengers film. It has amazing storytelling, character development, and the action that puts it right up there with Batman, the original, the animated series. Thank you. It's almost like a mini MCU with all the characters and the storylines they use. If you love the comics, you'll love it. If you love the MCU, you'll love it. Give it a
If
shot.
you don't like Marvel, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah. Plus, it has a banger of a theme song, and then says "P.S. Thank you for all you guys do," and then says "PSS." Hashtag Greg sucks. All right, now let's jump back into Frozen. Oh, actually, next week's topic or bronze tier topic is what did you think of Frozen? Let me know your short 140 character review. See if you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Technically, you'll have 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Reminder.
that's right. There's no screencast next week.
Yep.
Because there's no any morning shows next week except for 2 days of Games Daily.
Yep. Because Thanksgiving is next week, and then we'll be
Yeah.
back in December.
Sit down. Be thankful.
What?
God, no, don't worry about
Gobble
it.
gobble.
Oh,
motherfucker.
no.
You'll find out soon enough. So Frozen, we all enjoyed it. Sounds like
We did enjoy it. We all enjoyed it. I very, very, very much so enjoyed this movie. When they announced the sequel to Frozen, I felt like there was an obvious thing that they were going to do. There was
Right.
too much money made, too much merchandising opportunities, too much
Right.
love for these characters. There had to be a sequel. I did question what that sequel was going to be, what direction they were going to
Right.
go with it, and they did the little I forget the name of it, but the Spring Forever or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The
The
springtime short
yeah.
thing that was before Coco, I want to say, and I didn't love that.
No.
It felt very kind
honestly
of
don't even remember
what
it.
I expected Frozen 2 to be, which is just kind of more Frozen going down the path of like we need to just put another song out there. Like
Right.
what can we do? What other dresses can we get these girls in to sell different dolls? You know. And when we saw the first trailer for Frozen 2, I was like, this is going to be something really special.
Yeah.
They're really trying to make a good movie here that's going to get people in and be like, wow, they didn't just do the easy thing.
Right.
And they didn't. I think this movie really committed to that vision. And I think that was a very wise choice where, you know, not to make everything so binary like this, but I feel like in the 90s especially, it was very much, this is a boy Disney movie. This is a girl Disney movie. And I feel like this is one of those great examples of where we're at in 2019, where it doesn't need to be that way. This is both. We're getting the fun, the adventure that's typically associated with like the boy Disney movies, but like with these badass girls that, you know, have love in their lives, but that's not the
main
thrust of it,
crux, yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
romance. But the
Right.
love, there is still love there, and I think
Yeah.
that they show all of those storylines very well. I think that the songs are plentiful. There are many songs in this movie, and I appreciate
There's
that.
some real good ones
There's
too.
really
Yeah.
good songs in this one.
And I think this movie did the thing where when I first heard the songs, I was like, this isn't Let It Go. Finger wagging bullshit, right? But here I am. The soundtrack dropped a couple days ago.
listen to it
I
all
listen to
week.
it every
And
day.
I'm so into it. And it's just like, I feel the movie did a very smart call by having this little harmony that is kind of part of the story. And it
Right.
goes in through many of the songs, and it kind of like is the thing that brings it all together. And I feel like it makes Frozen 2 more than just a sequel.
That's great.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Belinda,
If I had to give something I didn't like, is I feel like the idea of it is cooler than the execution. Where I liked the story, I liked the plot. I thought there was a couple choices that were interesting in terms of their adversaries, or lack of, or whatever it is. But I wish we kind of got a bit more of the badass magic stuff. Like they leaned into the like, yo, fuck it, we're going all out. This is Avatar: Last Airbender type
Right.
action scenes,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They don't really do that. It's like they kind of hint at it here and there, but I'm like, I wanted to see Elsa fucking blasting fools, and like, and it's just kind of, we get some moments, but every time we get one, I'm like, I wanted that moment to be just that much cooler. But that's it though, Belinda.
I'm really excited because when the first trailer came out, I wasn't expecting that tone. Like I was like, oh,
that was a surprising thing to everyone. Where it was like, whoa.
Well, Frozen was so solid, but it is still has this childish, whimsical type of tone through it. Especially with Olaf being
Right, such
naive
a
and his
silly
humor is
character,
right,
yeah.
he's silly. And then the trailer came out, and I was like, I really want this. I want like a Lord of the Rings Frozen. We're on a quest to do something magic stuff, talking things like super fantasy, and that's exactly what Frozen 2 is. It's not a rehash of Frozen 1 where it's a complete story. It takes a story and then expands on it in a more mature way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Olaf's
Yeah.
humor's more mature, themes are more mature. Yeah, I just
Olaf specifically, I want to call out because, especially in the first movie, I thought he was funny. Like from day one, I thought he was funny. It is
Yeah.
one of those things now. 5 years removed? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
It's easy to look back and be like, "Oh, roll your eyes at Olaf," but you can
Right.
roll your eyes at pretty much everything of Frozen because it was so successful
Right.
that you can't get away from Let It Go.
Right.
I think this movie did a lot of really wise things to kind of subvert our expectations with that of making Olaf probably this favorite of this movie for
Yeah.
adults. Like,
Yeah.
and in addition to that, they treated the knowledge of Let It Go being annoying very well. And they treat anytime you had a issue with Frozen 1 of like how popular it is, I think this movie played with it but didn't get too meta. It was just right.
Yeah. I liked it. I don't know that I loved it, but it's also hard to say that I loved it because I've seen Frozen so many times and I've only seen this once. I kind of like that there isn't a Let It Go for this movie because I feel like I like so many of the songs that they're all kind of going to get a little bit more love than having like the one dominant song.
I agree.
And the more that I've listened to it, the more I like it, obviously, too. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend not listening to it
Do
because
not
there are like
listen
a
to it.
lot of really
Yeah.
fun moments.
Yeah.
Really fun moments.
Seeing
that
it in the
surprise you?
movie is such an experience.
Yeah.
Don't listen to the soundtrack because
As someone who is the person that always wants to listen to the
me
soundtrack,
too. Yeah, me too.
like there are a lot of fun surprise moments that I don't think will hit as
Exactly.
much.
Some of the movie's best moments.
Yeah, for sure.
right. Yeah.
I like that it's just like, hey, I like that it's not Frozen 1 and we're just gonna like flip it so it's the other sister, because I feel like that would have
Right.
been the very easy thing to
Absolutely.
do. But they were like, no, we want to build this into like a universe and we want to like give you some more context and background. I think Evan Rachel Wood was really good
Yeah.
as like her character, and like
Yeah.
even here I'm consistently surprised at how good Kristen Bell is at singing.
Right.
Just
Oh,
in
good,
general.
yeah.
Right.
Of like, man, I forget that you have this talent like in that, because I feel like it's hard to find people that are that good at acting and that good at singing and like putting them in those right roles. And the movie was also beautiful. Like the coloring
yeah.
for this movie I thought
Beautiful.
was really, really
the
good.
dresses are on another level in this movie.
I didn't love them all.
I
Really?
loved all of them.
There's spoilery stuff that we'll talk about later.
Loved every
The
single
dresses
one.
are really cool. And then I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I liked it. I'm obviously excited to see it again tonight. So
When I saw it the second time, well, because I saw it back to back, so I saw it. I saw it at night.
Tuesday and then
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I came with you guys Wednesday, and I got to ingest the story more the second time rather than waiting for what's coming next and
Right.
when a song was gonna come on. So I think you guys will really enjoy it the second time because
Yeah.
you'll be able to appreciate it more.
and especially now being way more familiar with the music and stuff like that, being able to listen
Yeah,
to
you're
it
not
this
just
week.
going into the unknown.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there.
God, I hate that look you just gave me. Tim. I really enjoyed it. I liked Frozen. I thought it was a fine movie. I never was like super like into it. Like I think everyone kind of got for that like 4-month period where it just kept playing.
4 years.
Yeah. But like watching this movie, I think that they did such a good job maturing it. And like the Olaf's character in the first movie, I really didn't like. I was just like, oh, he like had good funny moments, but I thought overall he was a bit annoying. And I think that the way they toned his character down made so much sense. And like
But also similar humor. Like
Yes,
they kept
yeah.
the similar humor just
The
in a
evolution.
different
Evolution,
way.
yeah,
And you're
and-
like, smart.
yeah,
smart.
very smart. And it's one of those things where it's like I came out of this movie being like, oh, Olaf's fucking awesome. Good for them.
Which, who the hell would have thought that
Right?
that would have been
Right.
unanimously
Yeah,
our thoughts on Frozen 2?
Yeah. And another thing is, I really enjoyed the music. There were so many songs where I was like, this is great. I don't want this to stop. This is awesome. And the last thing is, I enjoyed the story. I thought where they took it was like a really smart choice. And it was cool to see more of this world and have things a little bit more explained. There are some things that I'm like, I don't really understand how that works, but it doesn't, you know.
Right, yeah.
With the Disney magic, it didn't matter. Like, it's
Yeah.
so much of it was enjoyable.
Joey, you saying that like you didn't love it. I didn't love it either. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's really good. But I do the things that I was saying that I didn't exactly vibe with. I did want more, and I feel like it was kind of lacking because of that. But with Frozen 1, I liked it a lot more than Kevin did. Like I did think that it was really special, but I did have a lot of issues with some of the kind of third act really like story elements of how it all came together. Like it just kind of threw a little bit too much. I think the trolls were like a big issue I had where it's like it expanded the world, but in a way where I'm like, you didn't flesh out what we already knew enough for me to buy this.
Right.
So that kind of took me
It
out
felt
of it.
convenient,
Yeah,
too
it felt
convenient, yeah.
way too convenient. There's just these things that are gonna like
Tell
Have
you what's
answers.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
and I feel like this movie did a better job of kind of like I believed in all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like every
Right.
every element they introduced, I
Yes.
believed in.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where you needed the first one for this one to work as well as it does.
Right.
But that's
Exactly.
fine. We have the first one.
Yeah.
So and everyone saw it. So it's not really a complaint I have. But I do think at the end of the day, this is a movie driven by music and characters and has great music and characters.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the answer's pretty clear. But before we jump into spoilers, would you guys recommend it?
Yes.
To go watch it in theater. Sorry.
Yeah.
I would
Absolutely.
recommend it in theaters, and if you have the ability to watch in Dolby Atmos,
Yeah,
I know I
that's
always
really
talk about Dolby Atmos being like the best way to watch movies. This was the first time, and Kevin and I both had the same experience with this, where it's like, it's not that it's booming bass and all the stuff you need.
Right.
It's their use of spatial awareness,
Exactly.
where
So
things
freaking
are
cool.
happening, and it really immerses you
They
in the
do
world.
a really good job.
Yeah.
It was the
doing
best
that.
audio mix I think I've ever experienced in a movie.
I came out saying the exact same thing, where it's like there was a moment in the movie theater where I was like, how do
crap.
they do that?
Yeah.
Why aren't more people doing this? Yeah, it was really, really cool. Shout outs to Dolby Atmos being so amazing. Yeah. All right, well, it's time to jump into some spoilers.
Spoiler time. We'll give Barrett some time to put stuff up and put stuff in his ears so that
Crazy.
he's
Yeah,
not
I
spoiled.
haven't seen it. We're seeing it on Saturday. I'm very excited.
Saturday, it's so far away.
If you were
I'm gonna
looking for what's
update.
coming to Mom and Grab Shops today, where would you look?
I updated the title, so chat should be aware. OBS decided to disconnect to the internet again. That's fun.
Okay.
Everybody in the chat arguing about what's better than Frozen.
And I'm just saying,
Needs to chill out.
the
Needs
one
to
thing
chill
I
out.
want to
All
say
of those
before
things are
y'all
good.
get into this is
pretty
now
good.
that we've got Frozen 2, we need Moana 2, and we need Big Hero 6 2, and that's all I'm gonna fucking
No,
say.
I want another Tangled.
Yeah,
Hey,
Joey,
it's-
all right.
It's too late for Tangled. Big Hero 6
hey, hey.
deserves
I
all
want
the
all
fucking
of them.
sequels. All of them.
I want none
All
of
of
them.
them.
None of them.
You really?
We'll even wear that. Big Hero 6 is the one that I'd
Big
vibe
Hero
with.
6 is so
we
good.
don't need a Moana 2. We don't need a Tangled 2. I fucking love both those movies.
I
want
think Big Hero 6
more
is
Tangled.
perfect. I think
For a
it's perfect.
sequel or perfect how it is?
Just like
As a
perfect
thing.
how it is.
Okay.
But I
I
wouldn't be
agree.
mad
Yeah.
at
I-
a sequel, and there's plenty of stuff to use for
Yeah.
a sequel. Oh my god, I love all of
I
this.
don't want a Tangled 2, but I just want more Tangled.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
Watch on Disney Plus. Watch the animated series.
Really?
Beautifully
It's
animated.
very very
I
good.
didn't even think about that.
Amazing
Yeah.
stuff.
Zach Levi and Mandy Moore still, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really really good.
She's not doing
Watch
anything
it.
else.
So there you
It's
go.
great.
Mandy Moore?
Do you know
Wait,
that
she
she's
real busy?
touring for the
This is
first
us.
time
All right.
And touring for the
since
first
she
time.
was like a teenager?
All right, well, fuck
It's all
me.
next
I
year.
was
She's
wrong.
coming
sorry.
to the film
I'm
War.
sorry,
Let's
Mandy
go.
Moore.
Let's go and
I
then
was joking.
only request Tangled songs and candy.
Or a Walk to Remember.
My gosh,
life.
yes.
All right, where do you guys want to jump in on these spoilers? Where are we talking? What are we talking about?
We need to talk about the best song in the entire fucking movie, which is Kristoff's song.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
It's so good.
so.
The way,
And that's the thing.
everything
That's
about it. is-
the sole reason that I don't want anyone to listen to the soundtrack.
Yep.
Because if you
100%.
listen to the song
You'll
is
know.
good in, like, just
Just
if you're
being a
listening
song.
to it.
Yeah,
no,
But
totally.
the way that it hits you of like, oh my
they're
god,
doing this.
we're
Yeah.
getting an
And they-
80s power ballad
and
in
they
the middle
ease
of Frozen
into
2.
it, and they just give you these little, and you're like, "Is this?"
It's not till you get the
happening
first
right now?
fade of his face coming in on the side where it's like,
Oh, you're
they're
committing.
they're doubling
hair,
down in the best way.
Oh my god!
And
the
like
use
all of the
reindeers.
reindeer?
Yeah.
I-
Oh, so
It's
good.
brilliant because I love that. Like, to me, this is a perfect example of. So we talk about Celeste a lot on the game side of this being such a great marriage of gameplay and story that makes the whole experience so much better.
Right.
To me, this is a perfect example of the music and characters and story being set up to make the songs better than they are, and the songs make the story better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
they built up this idea of him talking for the reindeer
Yeah.
throughout it, so that by the time when it's like the reindeer talking for him, it is this larger than life character. It's like it made that moment feel so much more powerful
Right.
than just, oh, it's a musical, so they're singing. And like that's when musicals work their best, is when it
Exactly.
all works together.
Exactly.
And this worked so well.
it
was-
was.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's a good song too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a very
all
good
the songs
song.
are good, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm really, maybe not all. I don't. I need to listen to the soundtrack a bit more to like remember. But like, I left being like, I really liked that. And with Frozen 1, I really liked all the songs as well. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that there's more in this that I feel are more evenly spread out of
Yeah.
quality level. And when this movie starts with the choir stuff, the
Yeah.
hey na, hey na, I got chills,
Yeah.
man. I was like, damn, Frozen means something to me. That's
Yeah.
really cool. And especially like even just that song and that vibe, I was like,
Right.
we are fucking here, baby. Let's go.
I like, so the song that is Elsa, like, at the bottom of, like, the cave? Well, whatever that thing is.
Anna?
Cave.
Or
right?
Anna, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. got it.
I like also that they use they put a lot of subtle music from the first one into that to make
Right.
you feel like it's all tied together. And
Yeah.
I think that
But
that's
dude,
the perfect
that,
way
like,
to do it.
I don't think they needed to do any of that. I'm glad
But
they
I
did
loved
because it
it.
definitely like impacts harder.
Yeah.
But like, man, the moments before that scene, it was like that when we're in full spoilers. So,
Yeah.
but like
Oh.
Olaf dies.
Oh my God.
And like, but like he understands he's dying.
That's what hurts
Oh
more.
my God.
And he wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't mature his character.
Right.
Which is like,
The best.
it's so, like, these are things that you catch and they're not telling you that it's happening, but
Yeah.
you know because of the character, and they made
Well,
their character
I do
strong.
think that there was a lot of telling with that because I felt like
'Cause they had the
Olaf,
whole song.
his whole song's about that. And
I meant
also,
like when he's dying. They're not like,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh,
now
yeah.
I understand
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm dying.
yeah, yeah.
It's just like he's dying, and you know that he understands
Mm-hmm.
because they started off being like, I'm more mature now, and I understand things
Yeah.
when I'm older, and blah, blah, blah.
I also, and I never thought I would say this, I loved Olaf's song. I thought the comedic beats on it were so good, and like the juxtaposition of him being like, I'm gonna understand stuff and things are gonna make sense, and with things happening around him that like make no sense.
Yeah.
I thought was so well done.
It's funny because
magic, man.
as
Yeah.
adults, you're like,
Yeah, no, yeah, that
yeah, right,
yeah.
guy. And then as
yeah.
kids, like they will think it's funny because they also think that. And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Oh,
Yeah.
so this isn't so much spoilers as much as just like the Disney magic. We saw it in a screener, and there was one kid in the theater, just fucking one, and it was losing its freaking mind at everything Olaf did, and it
Yeah.
was so
It was-
funny. It was so funny, and it just shows the writing's that good. Where
Yeah.
it's like they really got it on every level. Where
Yeah.
we were hit the way we were supposed to, and they were hit the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, our screener was like there weren't a lot of people in the theater, but the screener that I did was an SF film like education thing. So there was all kids, parents, teachers, and the crowd was loud. Like it was like
I can imagine how
laughing
rowdy that would be.
and
Yeah.
like excitement and like oh, and you can hear it, and that's when I love being in a theater because everybody else is having the same reactions and it elevates your reactions. So I'm
Opening
excited.
night or like that kind of experience for any movie, I think is like
Endgame, like being in
Oh, yeah.
the theater
Yeah.
for Endgame is an experience I wouldn't have
That's
gotten
awesome.
at home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, of course.
And everyone like, oh yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah.
And so if our
There's-
theater today is packed, it'll be really fun.
I have a feeling that it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Totally.
especially
And we're
'cause
gonna have those great
Metreon
moments.
is closed, so like there's only one theater that is showing Frozen tonight.
I didn't know
Damn,
that.
that
So I'm the
sucks.
first person I've seen point out this little Easter egg, and that makes sense because not many people have seen this movie yet, but I want fucking credit for everybody. There is a reference to the Frozen ride at Disney World in this movie that I love. Have you been on it yet?
No, because I was there when it opened and the line was 10 hours or something
Yeah.
ridiculous, and I was like, nope, not
So they
seeing
took
that.
it's in Epcot,
I
and
wanna know.
it's the Norwegian
Yeah.
ride.
I wanna
And
know.
they turned it into Frozen. And there's a moment where Elsa is like doing her let it go thing, and then she like blasts you, and you're in this boat, and it sends the boat super fast backwards. And when Elsa does that to Anna, I was like, that is definitely a reference to the ride, which is super cool. Loved
I
it.
wanna go.
You got it, man. It's a lot of fun.
Go.
I want to go too. Correct me if I'm wrong, or if I just have bad memory. Is there they also make a Fast and Furious reference in this, right?
No, I think that was,
Or was
Charlie's
that a different
Angels.
movie? Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I got really excited about a Fast and Furious reference movie in some movie, but we've seen so many.
And it was like an
Maybe not.
insult to Fast and Furious,
Oh,
not like a
fuck
fun
you.
reference.
No, it was kind of a fun thing. Anyway,
I need to see that too. But
Something that I also appreciate is that the Olaf journey of like he is the most like kid friendly part in Frozen 1,
Totally.
and I just like that they kind of realize that, and they're like, okay, how can we make this into a character evolution
Right.
to make? And I think that for most adults, he's probably their favorite part, especially the part where he acts out all the different storylines, which
so
is
good. Stay through the
perfect.
credits.
Yeah,
For
Stays
sure.
in the
because it's
credits.
totally worth it.
It is worth it. It's
Yeah.
at the very end of the credits, and you would have to wait, but like,
It's worth it.
it's
Yeah.
so great.
yeah.
Some of the things that I didn't absolutely love about it is what I was saying earlier, but I wish they went further with some of the like cooler elements. And I didn't like the proposal, like kind of storyline
Story, yeah.
throughout, where just because I feel like it didn't have a payoff at the end. Like there was, I get
Right,
that it's story
right.
beats and he needed something
Yeah.
to do, and it got us to the '80s power ballad.
Yeah.
Thank
But
God for that.
it just felt a little bit undercooked. Where, as a fan of proposals, I just wish that was a bit more substantial.
Wanted the proposal to be more. When he actually got to
Yeah.
it, I
Yeah.
wanted it. I don't know if I wanted it to be big,
It
but
didn't
I
need to
wanted
be.
it to pay off his journey
Yeah.
trying to.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
not looking for some grandiose gesture because they had that in the movie.
Right,
it
right,
just
Exactly.
didn't work out.
Right.
It's just more when it happened, it kind of just felt like, oh, we need to close this book. We need to close this chapter.
And it was like, and then what he said was like, "You're the most amazing." I was like, I mean, we already know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not like he came to this journey of like, oh, I really do love you. It's like, oh,
exactly.
Well, I mean, the problem is, he already knew that, like he already knows, he's already there emotionally, so there's not a lot of place for him to move forward.
Totally.
I did enjoy how often he would try to propose how that would propel the
other storylines.
Anna. Sorry, Anna to like jump in these really negative train of thoughts.
You think I'm crazy?
Yeah,
I was dying.
No, stop.
Yeah.
Listen.
Like I love that,
funny.
but I wanted the proposal to be like.
I wanted that to build to something.
Yeah, but I kind of felt like the whole thing was about timing of like know what's happening around you, like even when you can't, and like the first time he tries to propose, he doesn't realize that Elsa is like Anna's concerned about Elsa,
right.
And like everything he says is so perfectly like juxtaposed with like what's happening with Elsa, right. And like at the end it was like, oh, now is the right time, and like I get the like that it would have been cooler if that was a bigger, stronger moment, and it's kind of lacking, but like I thought that the humor that they used with all the proposal attempts worked out.
I mean, I agree with that. It's just then it's not just a bigger moment. It's just like the right time is the end of the movie.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But then the one last thing that I just don't love is I did enjoy them kind of like having the Into the Unknown song, which was kind of the big Elsa song that feels like the replacement for Let It Go.
Right.
But then later having her have another moment with another song. I forgot the name of that song, but when she's down, Show Yourself. Yeah. Which is definitely like that is Let It Go 2.0.
Yeah, totally.
And I enjoyed and doing all the moments. I didn't like that. So I like that they did it again. I didn't like how they did it again. I feel like they didn't up the ante at all. And in fact, I think it felt a little lesser than. Like, the sexy strut was a fucking moment in the first one.
Right.
And I feel like the transformation here, like, when she lets her hair down and in the white dress, she looks like an old woman. Like,
no, she looks really cool. I disagree.
I think she looks really cool,
I think
too.
she looks like your crazy aunt that like walks like, hey, it's 4 p.m. You shouldn't be wearing your robe right now.
Her hair down is like she's like in it. Like
she's fully embraced it. And
I think it's hard to like have another one of those huge moments where like we get the hair down moment. And I like the way they did it in this movie.
I think her dress at the end is so cool.
Yeah, I think it's really
like
bad.
it's mind blowing. Also, Anna's like coronation dress.
Yeah,
I was not prepared for that.
That was fucking awesome.
It was beautiful. The colors, like when she comes out, you were like, whoa, like because you don't get to see Anna like this, and then you just.
I love the Queen Anna, dude.
Yeah,
let's go.
Also, Anna. With all her little sexy references.
Oh my God.
Leather stuff, right?
Oh, Disney went there.
I yelped when I first heard it. I was like, whoa, we kept that in there?
Yeah. Dude, we were about to get a Roadhead scene if things didn't go crazy.
We were so close to it, right?
Like,
yeah.
Hey, everyone wants the Snyder cut. You know what I mean? I want the X-rated cut.
This is the best you had, huh?
I
felt like you were searching at the end there for that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the. We can stop here.
Yep.
We can stop here.
That's a safer place.
I actually really liked the covers that they picked for this movie too, of like having Casey Musgraves and Panic at the Disco and Weezer do stuff. I thought was really
the three
fun.
different songs. Are perfect. I love them all. I'll re-listen on the soundtrack.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. I like that you got to see other trolly, like not the trolls, but like the troll monster guys. Like I felt like that kind of built the world of like, oh, there are these like weird.
I love
creatures.
the little fire salamander.
Dude, the little fire salamander is one of the most adorable things. But like, I wasn't a super big fan of like all the elements. Yeah,
I thought Gale was so cute, which is weird to say about wind.
Yeah, but I wish he was like better. Like, I wish he had like a form. He wasn't just wind because like.
But I
felt like there was no rules where it's like the water one was a horse thing.
It's the coolest Pokemon we've ever had.
Absolutely. The little fire salamander was awesome. But then there's just a bunch of giant like golem monsters, where it's like. Why do they get 3?
And why are they foes? And the rest are friends.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is they could be won over.
Because the wind originally wasn't.
Yeah. Well, they were all foes at the beginning, right? The fires.
They all got
around.
won over.
I don't know. I don't feel like the Giants were friends at the end.
They
I
were.
think-
They Anna and
You're
Elsa
right.
come
You're
over
right.
and
She
they
was hanging
touch
out. Yeah.
because Elsa is supposed to bring them all together.
Yeah.
This that makes sense now.
Yeah.
There we go. There we
It
go.
does. But
Yeah.
I
I
don't
was like,
like.
well, they didn't explain it enough, like why they were arriving and like why they were so aggro in the beginning. But
Well, it's
no.
because the dam. They
Yeah.
built a dam based on betrayal.
And so they're
You know?
mad.
What?
It all
It's
makes sense.
true.
It actually all
No,
makes
but-
sense.
Yeah.
They are
But Kev,
all,
what you're talking about the elements, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I wish that they went deeper into the cool elements, but it's a 2-hour movie or
Right,
even
yeah.
less.
Sure.
I don't even know how long this one
But
was.
I think
that
then
could be
like
a Disney
make,
Plus
Yes.
series.
Yeah.
That's totally a Disney Plus.
Absolutely. But I think in that case, make stronger rules and stick to them, where it's like, if there's one salamander and one seahorse, why are there 3 of these giants? You know?
Seahorse.
That's what it is. A horse
I
of the
like to
sea.
call it a horsey, but the
Got it. I got you.
SEA,
Yeah, that's good stuff.
No, that's fun.
It could also
The iguana
be-
was very cute,
He was
or
so
whatever he
cute.
is, salamander
It
or
could
whatever.
also be
Definitely.
mythology
However-
stuff that we don't like. They're referencing because I know the water horse. I'm not gonna say
Horsey.
horse.
It's a horsey. Say it.
Nope.
Horsey.
Horsey. Oh, like Pokemon.
Oh wait, yeah.
Horsey is a
Well,
Pokemon.
yeah,
That's straight up as
yeah.
a Pokemon.
Yeah.
I thought
There
I
we
was
go. Now
creative
we're
here.
full
Fuck.
circle. But I think because I know the horses are Nox, which are like Norse mythology stuff. So maybe the rest of them are mythology stuff that
Sure.
they're pulling from. That
Well, yeah, I
don't
think
know.
so. Like the giant golems are like, I think that's a thing in
Right.
like
Yeah.
a bunch of different
Golem's a
mythology.
Pokemon.
Yes, and he's the rock monster.
It is Pokemon.
Holy shit.
And Avatar.
Charmander. Oh.
Oh, that was really cool. Way cooler than it should have been.
Oh my gosh. But for all of these, I think I would rather err on the side of like wanting
Air?
more.
Gale?
Oh my gosh. Well, Gale is.
But yeah, see, and Gale's such an
interesting.
interesting
Yeah,
one where
yeah.
it's just the wind, and it's like I wish we had a little bit more something like to
But
sell
I'd
as a
rather
toy.
have that than go like the other way of like having too much of it. Of like
I liked
even
it being just wind.
Oh.
even like Moana. It's like I always wanted more of Pua because I thought that she was so cute. But
Oh my God, Pua was not.
But
in
I
that
didn't
movie
really
enough.
care about Hey Hey. I was like, you're annoying, and
Yeah.
I don't really. So I'd rather err on the side of like, I want more of these cute
Yeah.
little things than having too much.
I also loved at the end where she was using the like Gale to send messages, and it was a little paper plane.
Yeah.
Something
I
about that.
love that they're apart. Like I love
Yeah.
that they're apart and
Well-
they're both like, you know,
Doing the
like the
damn
whole
thing.
like bridges need two sides.
Right.
Like I love that.
I did too,
love
and that's
that.
what I was going to say. I actually really liked the story where I felt like it you know, the conclusion of the story for their parents were that like they were from like warring tribes that
Right.
like joined together. Like the mom saved the dad,
Right.
and that's why they were saved from being stuck in this like fog prison thing.
Right.
And like that their kids led to be like one is magical, one is human, and now there's the bond between magic and humanity.
Right.
I like that. I thought that the message was cool, and yeah, Elsa coming in and cleaning up and fixing all the magical side of the world
Right.
was also dope.
Getting on my SJW seahorse right here. You know, there's been so many rumors forever that Elsa is lesbian, like so
Right.
many like
Right.
little
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hints and
Yeah.
whatever. I thought it was a real missed opportunity to introduce new characters and like speaking characters and have Elsa have a moment with the woman
Yeah.
that seems like it could have went somewhere,
Yeah.
and then she's with the other guy at
Yeah,
the end.
yeah, that
I'm
was
like,
interesting.
Why even introduce these characters then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like for the most part they were useless. You know,
Yeah.
where it's like, did they add too much to the
Yeah.
story?
It was,
I think
he
that
was
the guy,
just a thing to get
Yeah, to
to
take-
make a
And then
proposal.
she was
Yeah.
there to explain things.
Right.
But what some of my like I have like maybe 2 issues with it is that it was kind of obvious that it was the mom to me.
Oh, there was no reveals in this movie at all. It was obvious it was the mom, and it was obvious that the Arendelle people betrayed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no,
from
absolutely.
from the
Yeah,
Like,
start
no,
of this movie,
it's
it's
like,
like,
what?
like,
why are you even
hey,
pretending?
Here's the grandpa, a character we haven't really ever talked about before that could be a bad guy if
Yeah.
you really want him to.
He's a bad
It's like,
guy.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
bad dude.
Yeah, so I just also when you see like the mom and you're like they come over and they're like that's dad and I'm like her scarf is right there on
It's
her.
like, no,
Yeah.
like I
shit.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I caught the second time because I was like they definitely are like showing it and I can put 2 and 2 together. And so I guess that was just a little too convenient for me. But yeah, that's
Or
one of
too
my-
telegraphed.
Yeah, just like, oh, okay, like we knew this. Like
Yeah.
even when they're telling the story, I was trying to catch like if there's any tells, the dad looking at the mom or the mom, and I'm like you couldn't just tell them.
Yeah.
Like,
It feels weird. I totally agree. I think that the reveals just aren't reveals because they're so obvious.
Right.
But it almost isn't a disservice to the movie because I feel like that stuff doesn't matter because, again, it goes back to the characters are so good
Right.
and what they're doing within that framework.
Yeah.
I buy and I believe. So it's like, of course, I always want big reveals. But
Yeah.
it didn't bother me that they were so telegraphed because I feel like everyone was aware. Where they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got it.
yeah.
The
But yeah, those
scene in
little-
the shipwreck also.
Yeah, I was actually about to talk about the shipwreck scene and the like his death. Olaf's death. Like, man, those were two intense scenes where it's like when we're introduced to the idea of water having memory with Olaf.
Which I really liked as a
I-
through line.
I
Yeah,
really like that
totally,
too. Yeah,
totally.
and especially with the conclusion of Olaf being
that was
like,
perfect,
because
yeah.
it has memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the very, very conclusion, which we won't like spoil for people, so they have a little bit of magic left if they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting a resolution for Elsa and Anna's parents, like I feel like man, they went such a dark and real way. Like yeah, the parents died, and like they show like moments before, and
Yeah,
it's just like
it's-
what a sad
That was
bummer.
really heavy.
Yeah.
Well, when they see the boat, I'm like, are we gonna
Yeah, there's
explain
some
that
chance.
they're still alive,
Right.
or are we gonna explain that they're dead? Are we gonna find their dead bodies? Which is something
I know,
that
that's what-
I was like.
I'm glad we didn't. Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't.
But also,
it
I
was
feel like the
still-
way they showed everything going down was pretty close to seeing dead bodies.
it
You
was
know,
really
Yeah.
rough.
Especially with the audio cues that kicked in at that moment, where it was like, oh,
The
I don't
voice-
That was a
know.
lot, man.
Well,
Yeah.
and then the voices, like,
Yeah.
I was like, this is a lot.
Yeah, this is a
to
lot.
hold
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how kids process that.
Yeah,
I
it's a lot
think
for
that kids
me.
are gonna have a harder time processing like Olaf saying goodbye as
Yes.
he slowly dies,
Yeah.
and then he's gone for the rest of the movie. Which, still like 20 minutes, maybe somewhere
There's
around
a
there.
It
bit, yeah.
didn't feel like much, but
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where we were.
That could
but-
be traumatic.
Yeah,
That's traumatic, yeah.
and like it's
Optimus
also
Prime shit.
really cool when he comes back, or it's like thank God.
It is really
Cool.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I love this movie. I
loved
enjoyed
it a
it.
lot.
I had a lot of fun. I feel like the songs hit me harder than they did the first time, and I know that like "Let It Go" is like a big song, and like yeah, that song I think was better than any one of these like one for one.
Right.
But I do think that like all the music in here I enjoyed more than I did the first.
I feel like this one had more First Time in Forever's and more Do You Want to Build a Snowman's than
Yeah.
it did the other songs in Frozen 1.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know what I don't remember.
I think it's
but-
more of an even playing field.
Yeah.
Yes.
so.
and funner too.
It's good.
I,
Go watch it.
yeah,
Please watch it.
absolutely. And thank you for joining us this week on Screencast. Barrett has his headphones on, so he'll be ready to shut down the show. You can follow us on the social medias. You can follow Tim at Tim Gettys.
It's true.
You can follow Belinda at BBC Garcia.
Yep.
There it is.
You got it.
You can follow Joey at Joey Noel, and you can follow me at Kinda Funny Kevin. Go and watch something. Go and watch Frozen 2. It's
Go and watch Booksmart.
on Hulu.
And High School Musical, the musical,
musical,
the
the
series.
series.
Plenty of stuff to watch. Go and do something.